Hello, everybody, and welcome to another MerlinCast. It is I, Merlin, sometimes known as Joe, obviously.
The best.
And here, chiming in, I've got my guest, my guest for the evening, Mr. Dan of Dan Reviews It.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me, as always, Merlin.
Oh, of course, man, anytime. And, you know, you actually found a couple interesting ideas about recent entertainment news that you thought would be good for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I always love talking about that stuff, so...
And things I feel like you're interested in.
Me?
You know,
well, I would hope so.
And I think your audience too, your channel.
Well, you know what? I guess we'll find out. What news do you have for us tonight?
Well, I guess which one should we talk about first? I guess the quick one is the Hunchback.
Okay.
The Hunchback is the latest addition to the upcoming live-action roster of Disney remakes, which we can agree have so far
pretty good.
Other than Maleficent, which I think I liked more than you. Have all been pretty good. You've got The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Pete's Dragon even was good.
Yeah. Pete's Dragon.
Which, you know, who even knew about that?
Not many.
And then, of course, this year, Dumbo's coming out soon.
Yeah, it looks good.
The Lion King is coming out.
Aladdin.
They both look very good. Aladdin with Will Smith as the genie.
Yeah, so, I actually was mentioning this to somebody at work earlier, and about thoughts about it as well. And it is interesting. They've almost pretty much taken out their heavy hitters, so to speak. Their biggest successes. So now they're going to almost some of the second liners. And when you said Hunchback, well, a little backstory here, Dan. Why did you think I'd be interested in the news? I know, but for the sake of people that may not.
Now, you introduced me to this film. This is one of the Disney cartoon late 90s Jason Alexander version of Hunchback.
Yes, the Seinfeld crossover universe. Did you know? He's the gargoyle, yeah.
But, that's the voice I remember.
I like how that's the thing you take away from. Oh, yeah, so what Jason Alexander?
But, you know, I was in college or just post-college when, like, all those ones came out. So you introduced me to Mulan, you introduced me to Hunchback.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they were both good movies.
Nice.
And there's still a few gaps in there. I still haven't seen Hercules. I still haven't seen Pocahontas.
Ooh.
But point being, we have talked for years about how this Hunchback is the most violent, you know, murderous, G-rated movie that has ever been.
There has never been a more badass G-rated movie.
We've long said PG-13 would be the minimum for this movie today.
Yeah. Get an F-bomb in there or two, you might have an R. Maybe some blood.
I mean, and this is only 20 years ago.
How they got away with it.
But, you know, look, the G rating, for all intents and purposes, no longer exists.
We ignore it.
We do, you know, one G movie maybe every other year. I think the last G movie was Cars 3, and that was 2 summers ago, or a year and a half ago at this point. So, it just doesn't happen. So, you know, PG is the way to go, that's fine, but this movie, Hunchback, I mean, it should be R, really.
Well, so the subject matter,
I thought you would be interested in this because I know it's one of your favorite of the Disney animateds.
It's one of my favorite movies I grew up with.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I have a feeling a lot of kids watched it, grew up liking it, even though the themes are probably more intense than their parents might have been expecting.
Right.
But that's why I liked it, even as a kid. Like, it was focusing on ideas of spirituality and racism, and you had violence and death and
murder.
And great music.
And then the singing gargoyles.
And then some jokes to ignore the mass genocide that's going on right next door. So there has been some debate about how well it was handled, and ironically, Jason Alexander and company, in retrospect, we could talk about this on the side, but I know we talked about it when we reviewed it, but a lot of people have kind of said that in retrospect, the weakest parts of the movie are what holds it down as a Disney film.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
I agree.
So in a way, it's like, so is it a bad Disney movie in that sense, or is it just a really good movie that happens to have the Disney stamp on it?
It's a good question. And so with this live action, obviously they've released no information, just that it is going to exist. But do you think they should go straight story like they did with Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast?
Okay.
Or do you think they should do twist story like they did with Maleficent? And I feel like there's one other that we're forgetting, where it's not really just an exact remake. Or, well, Jungle Book, I guess, because Jungle Book
Had a little.
It was a little bit different than the original.
Slightly.
But I mean, do you think they should do? I mean, first of all, if they do a live action, it has to be PG-13,
and it has to be.
I would think.
Do you? Well, are they actually going to do? Well, the real question is: are they going to do CGI characters like a Pixar sort of thing, or are they going to actually do more real life?
Going to do
live action people.
I think it's going to be live action.
You know, that's a good question because, okay, I'll admit, and I hate to admit this, for the most part, the Disney movies that have been basically close recreations of their animated counterparts have been really good, and they've been different enough.
Beauty and the Beast was so good.
Like, I mean, now...
And Cinderella was good.
I think they were kind of unnecessary.
Okay, let's not get carried away.
But I mean, no. I mean, do these movies need to be remade? It's also kind of a big debate.
It's
especially if they're that close.
Yeah.
But they were well done.
Well done.
Replicas of the cartoons.
And listen, Disney can't buy a live-action hit these days that's not a remake.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at their lineup from this year, and it was Wrinkle in Time, Nutcracker, and Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
And none of those were very well received.
Well, man, it's like everybody else. Disney's the kings of brand recognition.
Right.
And that's what everybody's relying on, nostalgia. Right. That's just the way it is now. But if they produce good quality product, I think that's great.
Right.
But for the most part, though, even though they're good, they have mostly, literally, beat for beat, followed the animated.
Cinderella really did.
So, and it was well done.
It was well done, but it was the same movie.
It was the same movie. So, to your question, I would hope that it follows the spirit. I'll be honest. I hope it just basically follows the Victor Hugo novel, Victor Hugo novel, and just keep some of the songs.
I don't think it should be any songs.
No songs.
Zero songs.
You think not even...
Cinderella didn't have any songs.
Focus more on just the drama?
No
story?
Songs.
Wow. All right, so just character focus, no songs.
Because listen, we agree that the biggest detriment to the Hunchback movie is the songs.
And the jokes.
People are getting murdered, and then they're busting out into bits and songs.
I agree, absolutely, 100%. But that's where the interesting thing comes in. Disney is, again, going to do Hunchback of Notre Dame, which they did not... It's a classic now, but when it came out, it was not well received. They got flack.
Right,
they got flack for it, and understandably so. So, I'll be honest. I think if Disney wants to go ahead and make like a really good Hunchback of Notre Dame movie, that's kind of related to the Disney version or the first one they made. That's fine, but they should do it under Buena Vista. Because
interesting.
Think about it. Because how many? If you're going to
they can't though.
But I know they won't.
Can't.
I know they won't. But I'm saying Disney has their hands in things that aren't family oriented stuff.
Right.
This is where it should go. But they're planning to go with the brand association of that original classic.
Right.
But it's not like it's limited to that. It has been made in other films. It's based on a novel.
Correct.
So they could just do it and do a great movie, not associated with the brand. I think by doing the Disney brand, they have two ways to go.
Right.
They can either make it more like a Disney-fied thing and we have repetition, which could be good, but also unnecessary and kind of conflicting.
I think no songs.
Or
if they do it that way,
they're gonna just put the Disney brand and just do Hunchback of Notre Dame. See, and that's the question: how Disney can it really be?
Right.
And still not be a repeat, but also bring something. And there are a lot of different ways they could go with it. And if they try to make it more kiddie, they gotta bring it harder. They gotta go harder. People aren't going to come to that to see more cutesy stuff at Hunchback of Notre Dame. They know about the original. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But then will they bring their kids in and make less money? I think it's a weird decision. Again, I think they're making the same weird choice they made 20 years ago.
When I saw that was one of the new remakes, I really was shocked.
Double take.
I was shocked. Well, because first of all, they're not done remaking all of their original classics.
No, not really.
You know, they haven't done Snow White yet. They could do a live action version of Snow White. Mm-hmm. Pinocchio, I guess they tried a couple of different times.
Yeah, they had a kind of bad
none of them were good.
A little while ago.
I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of
Snow White's done a couple times.
But they've
shifted it around
not in the new the new Disney live action, stable.
Remix, yeah.
I don't know. And there's other ones from the '90s they could redo if they want to do that. And Mulan is on the list. They're going to do Mulan,
but I just feel like for like you're saying for those, that is one of the last ones I'd consider.
I think they're going a little too recent. I mean, even Beauty and the Beast was only, like you said, it was sort of unnecessary. I think it was an outstanding adaptation, but right, the original was only 25 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like it's
when they're remaking Dumbo or Jungle Book. These movies are old.
That could be different enough,
right?
And to be honest,
I'm very excited about Dumbo. By the way,
I mean, Dumbo was not really. It's one of those old ones from the '40s I got to rewatch because remember Pinocchio. I didn't really like it.
Hated it.
It weirded me out. Dumbo was one of those ones.
Pinocchio,
but it's actually very good.
Yeah,
really well animated.
Yeah,
but the Tim Burton Dumbo actually looks really intriguing to me.
How about Bambi? They haven't done that yet. Murder that mother immediately.
Oh, why would they make? I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man.
But my point is, they're reaching back not even 20 years, or I guess about 20 years for Hunchback.
Like if you're looking to surprise people,
but they have what now? They have like 55 movies in their animated library or whatever.
Exactly.
I don't know. It seems weird.
It's a weird choice.
It's a weird choice. I'm very intrigued how it's going to go. I mean, almost every one of their hit movies now they've announced as a remake. Little Mermaid's coming out. We said The Lion King already. I don't know.
I mean, if they're good,
but I think if they do the straight ahead, we're just going to remake the Disney version. You got to axe the songs.
You got to axe the songs.
Yep. I think the songs have to be gone.
But there are some really good songs in Hunchback.
That's fine. Go watch the original and hear the songs or get the soundtrack. I don't know about doing something so close to the original. Mm-hmm. I did love that Beauty and the Beast, so I can't deny that. But I don't know. You're having issues over there.
Trying to get the hum down. That's what they call an edit.
Yes, correct. So yeah, that's all. I just think of anything they're going to remake, if you want to make it a little bit different or whatever, I think the thing to do with Hunchback is to get rid of the songs.
All right.
Takes people right out of the movie.
Okay, well, you say get rid of the songs. What about the other Disney elements like the gargoyles, the jokes, the goat sidekick for Esmeralda,
Yeah, I'm not into all that really either. But you got to keep something, I guess.
Some elements for the kids. I
don't know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, kids can handle a lot. Disney, ironically, has been pretty dark with their classics.
Look, there's a couple of scenes in that Beauty and the Beast live action with Kevin Kline as the father.
Right.
That get a bit dark.
Yeah.
Well,
Beauty and the Beast is dark.
Beauty and the Beast is dark, and they still had songs, and they still had the side characters, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. I just think Hunchback, of all of the Disney classic animateds, it's just so violent. The themes.
You can't really be really light with Hunchback.
No.
You lose too much.
And they really, really tried
to make it as kid-friendly as possible.
Like Jungle Book, I don't think was really... I think they stripped away a lot of the kid-friendly stuff from that version.
Honestly, the Jungle Book movie they remade, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't really think of that as a kid's movie. The only thing that was kid about it, I guess you could argue, is that there was a kid main character, which doesn't mean anything. Yeah. And that there was cute animals, but I'm like, this wasn't really a specifically cutesy kid's movie.
And so I think they can do something like that, and because they're Disney, it'll still be PG and whatever, even though it'll be very dark. I don't think you have to show all of the murders that they animated. That was a little intense. But no, I mean, I think they can walk the line between, being true to the original story, while also being close to the animated movie, but just strip away some of the more kid-friendly elements.
All right. So basically, you're saying
what I think.
You got to go a little darker, but still be Disney.
Correct.
All right. PG-13?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, look, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are PG-13, so I don't know.
You know what's funny? I think
like,
I think the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are kind of light though, even for PG-13s.
They really are.
Like
for what people get away with now in PG-13.
Is it because of the drinking and the?
I think it's mostly the drinking, yeah. Because they're not that violent.
Not comedically.
It's almost I was going to say it's almost cartoony. And
they're
violent.
fighting like skeletons that aren't even that scary. Like,
right.
It's dark for Disney. No.
Too much.
Straight R.
Yeah, straight. Yeah, NC-17.
Just NC-17 Hunchback, where they really hook up. Oh God, that probably exists somewhere, but no, they won't go that far. But no, I think I agree with you. It's weird. Well, I don't know. See, I kind of agree. I think it's a good choice, but there's a part of me that kind of wants to hear new renditions of some of those songs. Or maybe some new songs. New songs?
I did like the 2 new songs that came out with for Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But, I don't think it's necessary, that's all.
Well, are these movies even necessary as they are?
Maybe not.
But no, I agree. If they're going to do it, I just hope they do it well. Though, you know what? My expectations are kind of low.
Okay.
Because I love the original so much, the animated version. So really, if it doesn't do as well for some reason, I'm okay with that. But maybe it could do better. Do you think that's possible?
I don't think the original did that well. So yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, in terms of how good it is in quality, I'm sure it'll make money.
You love the original, so I don't know.
I do. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, that's true.
But you may enjoy it.
With the track record of these movies, as long as they don't completely change something so radical like Maleficent, I don't know. Like Maleficent, not to get too sidetracked, but the reason why myself and a lot of people didn't like it is just because I know they were trying to make things more complex by showing another perspective, but there is something kind of refreshing about escapism, having that villain that's just pure evil. Right. Maleficent is kind of known as like one of those Disney villains that is
one of the classic,
literally
evil villains.
If you remember in Sleeping Beauty, she literally says, I am the mistress of all evil, and I summon the powers of hell. Mm-hmm. Okay, she's probably not a nice person.
No,
but whatever. Artistic license, different, but I don't know. There's a way to make your villains.
How about Jolie though?
She was good. I like Angelina Jolie. I do. But I just think there's a way to make your villains complex without taking away what made them really evil in the first place.
Yeah, there's certainly something to be said for that.
I don't know. But that being said, Hunchback interests me. I was very surprised about that news too.
Yeah.
And now that we have gotten out of the prelude, remember you said,
I said this will be the quick one.
Well, how long have we been talking now?
I should know with us.
Remember we say we'll do a short podcast, at least an hour.
Yeah.
Like I think 45. Well, the Daredevil
I think it was like 42 minutes or something.
Oh, yeah, brief. Now on to the main course of the podcast. Jeez. Which blew my mind, too. Almost as much.
So this really came from out of nowhere. And when my one friend first posted it on Facebook, I thought it was a fan-made trailer. It looks like it.
Yeah.
But then it was real, and this is Ghostbusters 2020, which I don't think is called that, but that's just when it's going to come out.
It's appropriate, because hindsight is 2020 with Ghostbusters. We'll get there.
So this news just came from out of completely nowhere. Nobody was expecting it. Mm-hmm. They just kind of uploaded the trailer quietly. Somebody did. Mm-hmm. And so here's what we know about it.
Tell me.
Not much. We know Ivan Reitman is directing. Jason Reitman is directing, son of the original director Ivan Reitman. Original first 2, I guess.
I think so.
But certainly at least the first one. But yeah, I think he did both. And we know Jason Reitman from Juno and Thank You for Smoking and Young Adult and
good movies.
A lot of good movies.
Indies.
Yeah, a lot of indies. He did that Tully movie with Charlize Theron last year, which I still need to see.
Same.
But so he's sort of taking over from his dad, and what we know about it is we don't know who, if anybody, from the original is going to sign on.
I've heard some things.
I've heard some things, but nothing is set in stone. At least as of this recording.
Okay.
But we know obviously everybody that was still alive made a cameo
in that other one,
in the female version of 2016. I mean, the main guys, Rick Moranis didn't, unfortunately, but
sadly,
but Weaver, Murray, Aykroyd, and Hudson all did.
Yes.
So we know that it's going to be set in the same universe as the original, but in the present day. So if these guys are in it, they're going to, basically it's not going to be a prequel. We're not going to see young Venkman or anything like that.
No.
If they're in it, they're going to be playing themselves if their characters are in it. So what else do we know? Basically, we are ignoring completely the timeline of the 2016 version.
Yep.
So this is essentially going to play as a trilogy.
So basically,
from Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, and then the new one.
Yeah, it's Ghostbusters 3.
I think that's probably what it's going to be called.
It is, and I want you to keep talking, but I have some words about this.
I can't wait to hear. That's why I brought it up to you, because I knew you would say many, many things. So what else do we know? I mean, that's really it.
Well, I heard a rumor that the idea was that it's going to be kind of a passing of the torch kind of movie.
Yes, there's one theory that is saying that they may be focusing on a new crop of 20-somethings to be the Ghostbusters, but maybe Murray and the others could be in it.
Some mentor figures, maybe.
Correct.
Which I like that idea.
Would not be bad.
No. The part of me kind of wants to see the old crew one last adventure.
I think many people would, and unfortunately for us, in the world, Ramus is no longer with us.
Which I also have something to say about.
Which is
that's stuff that I got to say about.
Yep.
Which I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean that's all we really know as of right now. We know that that there may be. This is saying this article is saying four teenagers that may be split between girls and boys.
How about that?
So interesting.
How about that?
So that's about all we've got so far.
Kind of tap it into the whole It remake and Stranger Things.
Stranger Things are very popular.
Kids doing Supernaturals there.
But of course, this is set in present day, so slightly different.
Yeah.
But same concept, yeah.
Goosebumps and stuff. It's coming back. What do you?
I mean, sure. Listen. I liked the 2016 female version.
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was fine. Yeah. I think I gave it a B or a B plus. I thought it was good.
But that's a discussion too.
That is its own discussion,
which we'll probably have. We have to.
Which did we? We were not doing the. We were doing Film Fanatics.
No, we reviewed it.
Yeah,
we reviewed it.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
So right, it's been discussed. But it's a little bit. It's sad to say that some of the best scenes from that movie were not with the females. It was with Chris Hemsworth.
He had some of the best laughs.
He had some of the best laughs in the whole movie of four comedians. So I don't know how that part wasn't great. But look, that movie got a lot of flack for various reasons.
Yeah.
And
the worst of fan hate, I think, was on display. To be honest,
fan hate before
anything
was even seen. It was doomed to fail from the beginning.
True.
So I don't think audiences gave it a fair shake. Critics seemed to like it.
Yeah.
But I don't think audiences gave it a fair shake. So look, everyone has always wanted Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah.
Now, if they do this movie and it does not have Murray, Aykroyd, Hudson, you knew I was going to get there.
Yeah, get it, Johnny Hudson,
and Weaver, and Potts,
and maybe even
would he come out for Rick Moranis is not coming out.
He wouldn't come out for Ghostbusters 3.
Listen, if he wouldn't come out for Spaceballs 2, he's not going to come out for Ghostbusters 3. I guarantee it.
That's fair.
I guarantee it.
I would love,
I think Rick Moranis is one of the most talented and hilarious comedians to come out of 80s movies.
But he happens to also be a really good person in his personal life.
But look, yeah, he made a choice, and he's stuck to that. What I think is weird, and this is a conversation way off the tangent.
He still does some stuff once in a while?
No. I don't think that he does, but...
Voice work.
Well, yeah, voice work every so often. But No, I was just going to say, his kids are grown, though, now. Like, I respect that his wife passed on and he wanted to, be a good family man. But his kids are all grown now. So now would be a good time to come out of retirement.
Well, as we know, being people, sometimes you change your focus.
Yeah, absolutely. And he may really have realized maybe acting wasn't, in the cards for him to begin with. Maybe he, didn't really get a lot out of it.
And as we can agree, he gave us enough.
He gave us so many great things.
He gave us enough.
Yeah.
But you're right, probably not. But it'd be cool if it did.
It would be amazing.
It would be awesome.
Spaceballs 2 would have been great, too, as an aside.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Look, I think there is a way to incorporate all of it. Because obviously the Ghostbusters 2016 was still set in the same universe.
Apparently. Alternate universe?
Yeah, it was like an alternate universe because I guess the people weren't playing.
Well, no. Well,
I really would have liked to have seen the people play the actual characters.
They didn't, if I remember correctly, they didn't really reference those events.
Aykroyd was the taxi driver.
They were different characters.
And I didn't like that.
And they didn't really seem like they were enjoying themselves in those little bit parts.
It was very shoehorned in. Hudson liked it. Hudson
seemed
like he was having a good time.
Bill Murray seemed miserable.
So did Aykroyd, to be completely honest.
Yeah, their scenes weren't really that great. They seemed...
No.
So that kind of added to the punch.
Well, and it seemed forced. It seemed shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do we just forget about events? I guess. But then at the same time...
Overcorrecting?
Well, we just
had a Ghostbusters movie. We just kind of
just did it. Like, for example, I just read the other day that they're going to reboot the effing Ninja Turtles again.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Dude.
And, this is the fourth film time that they've done it?
Very, very brief sidebar. I will talk about this in a future podcast. Codpast? What the hell is a codpast? but I've actually been reading a comic book line, a little bit older. First time reading them. The IDW 2011 comic book reboot of Ninja Turtles. It's really good.
Great.
It's actually really good. So I've been really interested in Ninja Turtles again lately. Great movie. You saw, remember? Classic 1990.
Oh, yeah.
Good movie. But, yeah, what the hell?
I read that and I was just like, I'm sorry. I get that there's no original ideas left in Hollywood.
I used to say that back in the day. It's never been more true.
Well, and what happens is, every so often...
Spider-Man.
You get a Spider-Man where it's like a huge success following that they've just rebooted it 4 different times.
God.
And not only was Homecoming a success, but Spider-Verse was a success. So it's like they've rebooted Spider-Man twice in the last year and a half, and both of them were successes.
Great.
So...
Relax.
So let's relax. So, okay, great. Ninja Turtles again. Ghostbusters again. I just... it's... Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on this because I've been rambling about mine. Yeah.
Well, I know you love Ghostbusters, so it's great.
I do.
Now, we got to talk about this, so it's going to be a long tangent.
But you love Ghostbusters.
Not that we ever talk about tangents on podcasts. What do we talk about? Movies or something? Okay. Well, I don't know if I ever talked to you about this with Ghostbusters. When that movie came out, the 2016 one, I think one reason why I was able to kind of look at it very fairly. It's because I'm not a die-hard Ghostbusters fanatic.
Okay.
I
don't think I wouldn't say I am either.
I like Ghostbusters a lot. I think it's a very good movie. I grew up with it. It's very unique. I like Ghostbusters.
Right.
But I'm not it's not on the same level as Star Trek or something.
Sure.
But it's good. It's very good. I can understand why some people would get so invested in it. Which is why, I don't know, I'm talking about it again, but it was a phenomenon. The level of hate that came out for Ghostbusters.
It was insane.
Which I mean, and you know how I think we talked about it. Sometimes I talk about it with a couple people just for fun. What's the worst group of fans? Marvel, DC, Star Wars, certain anime.
You always ask me.
I do. Ghostbusters. By evidence of that, and I never would have thought, because think about it, Ghostbusters is wholesome, fun, but people were so attached to this, they couldn't deal with anything new. And the sexism, and the weird thing about it was, I don't there was all that hyper political stuff behind it, which that annoys me too. That's involved in our fiction now, in our sci-fi in particular. But that takes the fun out of it. But also, it's not. I don't understand why people thought it was a slap in the face because, basically Ghostbusters was kind of an SNL movie. So this was basically
it really was
the same kind of thing.
Aykroyd and Murray. I mean,
you got the same. You got a similar team,
right?
And I know people said, "Oh, the trailer wasn't funny." Maybe some people didn't find those things funny, and not all the jokes worked, and there was a lot of improv. Maybe not the writing wasn't quite as good, but there was talent. There was definitely some love. It wasn't that different from the original.
No,
and people hated it, like you said before, even
before
a
they
trailer.
Even saw a second.
Before people were ready to hate it, and I don't understand it. But it's the weirdest thing. I think it was okay. I don't think the movie was great.
Right.
I don't think it was horrible. It was decent.
I liked it.
It was fine. It was enjoyable.
It was fine.
It was decent. I would have liked to have seen a sequel.
Can I point something out though?
Yeah.
that you said about okay, maybe the trailer wasn't that funny, this or that. Okay,
sure.
Here's a problem I have with
that argument.
No, not with that argument, because I agree the trailer was not that.
Wasn't that best?
No, I have a problem with the state of comedy films today.
Yeah, this year was bad for comedy.
The last 2 years have been bad for comedy. The last really, really good comedy was probably 22 Jump Street. That was about 3 years ago.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
And the reason is this.
Tell me.
Because I think every comedy now thinks that they have to be joke. And I'm sorry, the original Ghostbusters is not drop down to the floor funny.
It's kind of like dry humor.
It's got jokes.
Haha.
But there are a lot of different things going on in that movie.
It's a good story.
It is a good story. It's a good I don't want to say horror movie, but
so some spooky
suspense
things.
and thriller, kind of supernaturally sci-fi kind of stuff.
That's why it's so loved. It's a combination.
It's got a lot of layers, and
so
I think a lot of the movies of that time are that way. Like when I think of the great comedies of the '80s, The Breakfast Club. Had jokes. It was a funny movie. But guess what? You could also have a 3-minute segment of that movie where there weren't any laughs.
I remember some pretty intense, dramatic
moments. You're getting to learn the characters. Yes.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm please continue, but I think I see the point you're going towards here because, and I have a question to follow up, so please try to keep this organized.
Sure.
But, but like, you're right. I think that speaks to the reason why Ghostbusters is so great because it was a great combination. What I want to ask you, with your point, would you say Ghostbusters was a comedy first? Because there's been some debate about if it is a comedy first.
The original?
Yes.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Really? Huh. Okay, keep going.
I would say,
interesting.
I don't know. A comedy first?
Because when I think of it, it's more of an adventure kind of family,
okay. I guess because of who was involved with it,
comedians,
I would say yes.
Okay.
Because you've got Ramis, Murray, and Aykroyd.
True.
And I'm only leaving Hudson out because he's not known for his comedy.
Not really, no.
But especially at the time, Bill Murray, was one of the funniest guys around. It was right after Caddyshack, right after Meatballs. It was right after Stripes. So. Okay, I guess in that regard, yes, it's comedy first. But,
okay.
I don't think...
People loved it because it was funny by
I don't
itself?
think people love it that much because of its humor.
People like the concept.
I think they love it because of the world and because of the effects and the sci-fi aspect of the movie is great.
It's cool.
And I think, maybe the trailer for the 2016 one wasn't funny. And the problem was, I think, because you threw 4 people who are known really only for comedy.
Only comedy.
Wig has branched out a little bit. But I wouldn't call the Skeleton Twins a big hit.
No.
So
I like that movie.
I liked it, but,
sad movie.
But they're known for their comedy.
Definitely.
So I think the fact that not all the jokes did land, and some of the funniest lines did go to Chris Hemsworth, I think that rubbed people the wrong way after they watched it. But we're talking about all the hate before that even happened. So I don't know what to say about that.
I've never heard of so many people literally in protest of a movie that they wouldn't go see it.
It's insane.
And I'm like, I understand not wanting to see it, but like, are you ever going to watch it to actually validate your own opinion?
Right. And I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion about a piece of art...
You can't. Unless you actually
experience it. You know?
Or else you have no idea what you're
sorry,
talking about.
but like, come on.
Like, man, it was that. It looked horrible. Like, I'm not going to support it. It's got to be terrible. How do you know that?
Right.
You know?
So... That's my piece on the 2016 version is that I think people were I think the state of comedy now is you have to just rapid fire jokes over and over and over and over again, and in the 80s they just I mean some of my favorite movies of the 80s like Beetlejuice or Uncle Buck. I mean there were 2 to 3 minute segments of those movies where there weren't any jokes.
Yeah, character moments.
Character building. Story building.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. You're right. It seems like the joke is more important now than everything else.
Yes. And I think the 2016 version, especially because of those people that were involved in it, I think they were like, well, we gotta have more jokes per minute, than any other movie this summer,
Sounds like South Park, the jokes per minute.
And it's like, I just... To me, Ghostbusters is more than that.
Interesting.
And again, I didn't dislike the version, but...
I see what you're saying.
I just think if they're going to do Ghostbusters 3 right, it needs to be... You can't just assume that everybody already knows and enjoys the world. You have to build characters up. So I'm actually, in that respect, I'm glad they're going to, I guess, get these 4 new characters.
For a new generation.
For a new generation, and hopefully have
the
other people as the mentors.
This is a horrible example, Dan.
Tell me.
But it's kind of hopefully done a little better than like the Star Wars movies now. It's kind of the passing of the torch.
Passing of the torch.
Similar kind of.
Yeah, I agragree.
Though I have mixed feelings about the way they handle those things.
Well,
but yeah, I think that's a good idea. I guess. Wow. I mean, I think you got a lot of the points I'd go into there. I don't
excited.
A little excited, but also a little sad and frustrated.
Okay.
Because it really angers me that basically they wanted to obviously make Ghostbusters a thing, and it seems almost like they're embarrassed and ashamed or double back.
That's what I think.
On the other one, but then so soon doing another Ghostbusters movie to capitalize on it. That kind of bugs me a little, and I kind of wonder about it. But people are automatically, I guess, excited again because it's associated with the original films.
Right.
However, I kind of just wish that we had Ghostbusters 3 like 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
When Harold
Ramis was still alive. And the fact that I believe Murray, or from what I understand...
I believe it was Murray.
From what I've heard...
From what I know,
people didn't want to do it. And now I'm like, okay, he obviously is okay with doing it now. Maybe because people were so mad about the other one. But I'm just like, okay, so we're finally going to get Ghostbusters 3. But in my mind, it'll never be quite as good as it was because Harold Ramis was a big part, in front of the camera and behind it.
Right, I was going to say one of the biggest parts because he co-wrote it.
It was part of his creation, so it's a little sad and weird that he won't be there. So I hope there's some way he could be even referenced in it.
Oh, they will.
I know they will. They're probably dedicated to him. I hope. But so there's that, and that always made me sad because Egon was actually like my favorite character.
I think he was. I think part of maybe why it's even a thing, other than Sony wants to
that money.
Look, Sony's struggling. Other than their Spider-Man movies,
in the franchise,
they're just
which they only have now doing well because of Disney. Marvel
That's
Studios.
true.
Yeah,
that's true. And then I guess they have James Bond still, but like we only get one of those every 4 years. It seems like.
Yeah, Spectre was so good.
Spectre stinks. Look, it made a money though.
It did.
Of course it
did.
The internationally, absolutely.
Opening.
You can't.
Who did the opening to that? That was weird.
Sam Smith.
That was weird.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But
what a boring movie.
Point is, Sony doesn't have a lot of franchises, so obviously they were hoping to build a world. Remember, at one point they were talking about
the 21 Jump Street Ghostbusters.
No, that was Men in Black.
Oh, Men in Black. Oh, that would be good.
But they're bringing that back again. That's Men in Black 4 comes out this summer.
Men in Black's getting it.
And that's Sony, I guess, too. But
there you go.
But yeah, they were going to do a whole Ghostbusters universe because they were going to make the female one. Well, they did make the female one, and then they were going to make the Channing Tatum male one.
Yeah, they did plan on doing an all-male one.
Yeah.
But, I kind of like the idea of just, splitting it down the middle, having both sexes represented.
I agree.
And that way there's no arguments about...
everybody can shut their effing mouths,
dude,
and leave it alone.
That is a whole thing. And actually, I want to do a rant at some point about... Because that's all my feed is now, and I'm sorry. But this is kind of related. Just, like I said, the anger and between fans and the politics and reviews not really being as credible because they're all based on other things.
Right.
Like, you can't trust Rotten at all. Because everyone's in somebody's pocket. Like entertainment is just so infected now with so much, like a combination of overly politically correct people and people that are offensive and just sexist. It's just like, it's so bad.
It's very bad.
And so it's so bad. And to be honest, like, there was all this hate about Star Trek Discovery, which I don't think is great, but I watched it and I thought some things about it were okay.
Right.
Some people, I don't know. The hate for it, I think, is also kind of not productive.
Right.
Like, stop hating on these things so much. Like, you have plenty of other Star Trek to watch. Like, I'm so exhausted. Like, dude, yes, it annoys me that there's a show that doesn't really feel like Trek, and it definitely is made for a bigger audience, kind of the Abrams movies. But like, they got Picard show maybe. I'm trying to keep an open mind,
Picard.
and I'm just trying to go back and just enjoy my movies without I don't know. Like, that whole thing annoys me. So I'm kind of curious to see how, as this is produced and we find out more, Ghostbusters will be related.
Right.
Though I think...
I'm intrigued to find out more, as the weeks and months go by here. I'm sure we'll be getting, more and more droplets of information.
I will say, though, I think that you are right. They definitely... It kind of makes me wonder if, on some level, because of trying to be too much of a comedy, perhaps... They did kind of miss the spirit of what made the original so good with the 2016.
I agree.
So with this one, I've got a feeling maybe they're like, okay, we're going to get everybody involved who's still around, that wants to be involved. And you've got a Reitman in the chair.
And the thing I like about Jason Reitman is his movies are not just joke. Like Juno is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love Juno. But there's a lot of layers to that character and that world and that story.
Definitely.
And also, they're real people. They're not just joke machines.
Yeah, it's not just a gag constantly.
Right.
And he's also, I would imagine, he's taken the mantle from his dad, who he would probably do his best to live up to the spirit of the original.
I would think, and I think, I'm going to look this up real quick.
Go ahead,
but I think Ivan Reitman is still alive.
I believe he is.
So, I mean,
maybe he can co-produce or
so maybe
some
he can help with it.
I hope so.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think he's retired, but
I'm sure he'd have something to say.
But listen, he should do all of his dad's movies. He can remake Kindergarten Cop too.
Yes.
I love that one.
Cameo.
He's 72.
It's not so bad.
So he's not done much. He did that awful Baywatch. Was he a producer on that?
I hope so.
All right, yeah. The last thing he directed, it was. I don't want to see the Ghostbusters. Oh my God! Guess what the last thing he directed was? You're never gonna guess. It's one of our favorite Costner films.
Did he direct Draft Day?
He directed Draft Day. That was the last thing he directed. He still has Triplets on the slate. Which, by the way, you've heard about Triplets.
Yes.
If they do Triplets.
Oh yeah.
Triplets, by the way, guys.
Reitman, I love Reitman movies.
Is supposed to be the sequel to Twins.
That's news too. We should talk about
Schwarzenegger and DeVito. And Eddie Murphy as the triplet.
You can't see it because this is just audio, but I'm shaking my fist in excitement.
But listen, that was announced as an idea 6 years ago, and nothing's ever come of it.
But apparently, it's like apparently they're. I want
it to happen.
I heard that everybody is on. I think it was all three of them said yes, I'd do it. Like it's one of those.
They got to do it then.
And I was like that.
That'd be so great.
And it would be kind of cool because they're much older, but it's almost like they discover another brother who is obviously he's black.
And who's hotter than Danny DeVito right now?
With Always Sunny?
I mean, he has found an entire new generation
who love him.
Never heard it, never heard of Taxi or never watched any of his old shows.
Like
don't know Throw Mama from the Train or whatever.
No,
but they love him because of Always Sunny,
and that's great. And he doesn't do that many movies anymore.
No, he doesn't.
So it'd be really cool to see him, Schwarzenegger again with Murphy.
I think it'd be great.
If Reitman's doing it,
fantastic.
And they don't know, but Twins is one of my favorite comedies.
Twins is one of your all-time favorites,
and you would appreciate it a lot too.
And let's think about Twins, 1988, and that was a funny movie. But it also had an incredible story,
characters,
and the concept was quirky. It was more than.
And there was drama. They were on the run from a hitman the whole time. There was some.
Yes, there was some action.
It was intense at the
drama.
End. Like it was a great combo.
Well, and that's why, and I've said this on your show before. The only comedy that I really gave a high mark to this year was Game Night. Which was more of an action comedy because they have this murder mystery party, but then it turns into a real murder. So, and of course, I love Jason Bateman, but that wasn't just joke after joke after joke. There was a lot of layers to it.
An interesting discussion on comedy, and you're the comedy guy. It's almost like you're saying there really can be too much comedy in a comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
So you got to let it breathe. It's kind of like that balance, the opposite of a drama. You can have a really dramatic movie,
right?
But oftentimes you have moments of levity just to let yourself breathe. It's kind of the same thing.
I like it when things are two things. like think about it. Like all the comedy movies I love in the last, let's say, 5 to 8 years or whatever it is, have something else. Like the Jump Street movies are good action movies too.
Yeah.
Bridesmaids obviously had some drama.
Definitely.
I think it's clearly a conversation for another time. But yes, if they do the Ghostbusters 2020, I want them to sort of learn from that and really hearken it back to the original if they want to give it that feel.
Yeah, man. Side note, one thing that kind of surprised me that I discovered a little while ago. I forget if it was on Film Fanatics or a little after, but I didn't realize that, and it puts things in perspective now, how apparently hated Ghostbusters 2 was by many people for so long.
To be honest, I've actually never seen it in full.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked Ghostbusters 2. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it was still good. And I think it's interesting. Apparently, there was a subset of people that really hated it for a long time.
Well, your Ghostbusters fans.
I guess. I think on Rotten, it's got like a 58 or something. Weird.
It's very weird.
It could be. And I was like, really? It's literally the same as the first movie, but with a different bad guy. It's not. It's got some different jokes. I thought that was strange, and I just think it's interesting. I don't know where Ghostbusters 2 would fit in the equation because I don't know. You should finish it, Dan.
I guess I should.
Yeah. Ghostbusters 2 is
I'll have to pop up my because I have them on a box set.
That'd be a great double feature.
It actually would be.
We should do that sometime.
Yeah, we should.
I like Ghostbusters 2. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. I guess, but nowadays I doubt people would say Ghostbusters 2 is the worst. It's like Star Wars with the prequels, man. Now people are saying, "Oh man, when George Lucas did the prequels, that wasn't so bad." I'm like,
at the time, they were the worst things anyone ever saw.
And now, technically, even though I think the new Star Wars movies are in a lot of ways technically better films, people don't like what they're doing with the story and these characters. So they're saying, at least George was expanding on things.
Right.
It was what the hell, man?
Listen, hindsight is always 20/20.
Yeah. And hey, I like the prequel movies. I grew up with them.
Yeah, I did. Yep. The one I've seen, I enjoyed. I like Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, the most hated movie of all time. You were fine with it.
I thought it was good. I actually enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's good.
So whatever. I try to like it all, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's because I try to be the nice critic. I mean, I can get hyperbolic. I don't know you can too. When you really get passionate about something and you think something is so wrong, yes.
Well, I'm tired of crap.
I'm tired of crap too.
I'm honestly tired of crap.
There is a lot of crap, though. I think this year had a lot of good movies, and we're actually going to do a podcast talking about the most successful box office top 50.
Yeah, we're going to look at the top 50 box office of the year and go down the list, pretty much.
And just kind of discuss.
I think that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be on Dan's channel there. A little promo for that. And upcoming this year, honestly, there's a lot of movies I'm interested in too.
Well, this is a big year for fanboys.
It really
certainly,
is.
Because not only all the comic book movies that we expect every year now from Marvel.
It's a standard now.
A little DC, I guess. But yeah, just for genre stuff in general, I mean, it's just like it's going to be big.
Yeah, I mean, we could even look through the list real quick. I'm just to give an example. I think I talked about this on an earlier podcast. Just movies I'm looking forward to in 2019. But like you're right for fandom.
Oh yeah,
this is a huge year. And I thought 2018 was big, but I think this year might be even bigger.
I think it might be, and you've got Glass, of course.
Glass I like.
But here you go.
Pulling up the list here. From Rotten. Good
well, Lion King and Dumbo, of course.
Disney.
Zombieland 2.
Great.
That's coming out.
How interesting.
Lego. Very interesting. Yeah, the new Lego movie, which looks exciting. New How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, Captain Marvel, of course. Us, which is the new Jordan Peele movie. That should be good. There's Dumbo. Shazam.
Oh, for DC. Could
Shazam
be a surprise hit.
The Pet Sematary remake. Ooh. Hellboy reboot. Okay, Avengers Endgame, yeah. Everybody knows that. The Pokemon
Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Wick 3. Rocket Man. Oh, that's for me. That's the Elton John. Oh. For some reason, I thought that was...
For Elton John fans, also a very big year.
Godzilla.
Of course.
What is Dark Phoenix?
Oh,
that's the new X-Men.
The last Fox
the new
X-Men.
Men in Black.
It might be
Shaft remake, Child's Play remake,
Toy Story 4,
Grudge remake,
Grudge remake. What the
more
hell?
Annabelle, new Spider-Man again, Lion King.
It's almost too much.
It's crazy. Oh, the Fast and Furious side movie, Kill Yourself
side movie.
Yeah, Hobbs and what is it called? Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh my god.
Effing die. It Chapter 2. Oh my god, there's an Angry Birds 2.
Yep.
Okay, that's too much. There's Zombieland 2. The Joker movie.
Oh yeah.
Another Addams Family movie. I didn't know about that.
No. I don't know about that either.
Another Charlie's Angels. I'm over that.
Terminator.
New Terminator.
Oh god.
Kingsman 3. Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
That doesn't sound good.
Jumanji 2 at the end of the year. Masters of the Universe at the end of the year.
Are you serious?
Star Wars Episode 9 at the end of the year.
Yo, Masters of the Universe didn't?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So that's, I mean, most of those are pretty fanboy related movies. So I think you said it. 2018 had a lot of genre picks, but no, I think 2019 because there's only really a few superhero movies, but in terms of sci-fi and genre stuff, oh my god. A ton.
Oh,
so that'll be interesting.
Is it too much?
I don't know. They seem spread out. I mean, that was for the whole year. It seems like really every month there's only like one or two.
I guess that's enough.
So no, I don't think there's too much. Look, I don't mind. If we're gonna do remakes and reboots and stuff, if they're done well.
Same.
And these movies, that are getting the sequels like Wick 3, Kingsman 3, I'm on board.
Yeah.
They've created interesting worlds.
And they're kind of based on
like.
more original ideas.
And they're based on, I think Kingsman was probably a graphic novel or something.
It was. That's obscure though. I'll let
but it's obscure. I don't know what Wick was based on.
I think Wick was the original. I'm pretty sure.
Might have been.
I mean, it's kind of standard in a lot of ways, but
yeah.
But it's so artful.
Based on the Equalizer TV show.
Well, as you know,
no, it wasn't. Of course,
John Wick and Equalizer have some parallels.
Movie.
But so artfully done, like just the cinematography and everything, the music, like it's a very unique experience.
The ones that I think are the most unnecessary are the kids sequels. I think Secret Life 2 and Angry Birds 2, they don't need to be made.
What about Toy Story 4?
Well, that obviously also doesn't need to be made, but will be excellent. So
Oh, that's going to be an interesting discussion when that comes out.
Yeah, well,
because I know that you were always like, don't ever do it, and now you're probably going to love it, but you're still good. I hope you're still a little mad, unless it works.
God, 3 was so perfect in every way.
Toy Story 3 is really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's obviously a discussion for when I see it, but
yeah,
I don't think. Okay, here's the end. The end of everything.
Okay.
To put a pin in the Ghostbusters conversation.
Sure.
To put a pin in everything.
Sure.
I think just because something is unnecessary doesn't mean that it can't be good. I agree, as we said earlier, Beauty and the Beast live-action remake was unnecessary. But it was still good.
It was well done.
It was great, actually.
It was very well done.
You know? So I think there can be a difference.
Well, you know what?
Just because something's unnecessary.
All right. Okay,
you
true.
know.
But to be fair, they did add some new elements to that one.
A few new ones, yeah.
And also, 2014 RoboCop, unnecessary. But maybe if it had been really good, or different enough.
And it wasn't. It was bad.
Ooh.
Sometimes they're bad.
Yeah.
Total Recall was bad.
Oh.
But, you know, look, just because something doesn't need to exist, and it does exist, it doesn't mean it shouldn't. Ghostbusters 2016 didn't need to exist. No. I'm fine that it does. It was okay. I don't know. Like think about musicians that are, you know, I mean, look, do the Rolling Stones need to record a new record? Probably not.
People would be happy.
I think they've said everything they needed to say 50 years ago, and it'll probably sound very similar. But like, does that mean all the songs are terrible and it doesn't need to exist? No. You know, so that's my piece on that.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sort of ties into both of the things we were talking about.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So. Well, you know what though. Even though it was branched off a bit, I do think Ghostbusters was the bigger conversation.
I do think so, yes.
But Hunchback was also pretty big.
Hunchback went a while. I was a bit surprised by that,
actually. You were surprised? You should have known better.
No, I guess I should have.
This was meaty. I'll be honest, I was like, oh yeah, we'll talk about that for a few minutes.
Every time I bring you a topic, you're like, yeah, we'll get a few minutes out of that. It's always like 25 minimum.
Well, I mean, I guess...
We love to talk.
It depends. I mean, I've ran through like a lot of little topics when I'm going through news, and you got to kind of like have a couple mini conversations.
Yeah.
I like it when they're fleshed out.
We do tangent though a lot.
Yeah, we tangent. There's like sub branches, but that's
always related though.
But that's the fascinating thing about like language and communication is is where it leads and how it all comes back.
You're right.
Something kind of deep there, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway,
typically it comes back to Toy Story. As we found. As we found today.
Yeah. Well, Disney, Pixar.
Yeah. Typically it comes back to Disney. That's true.
Well, it also doesn't help that Disney owns everything.
I know. Well, that's true.
So I guess that's cheating a little.
You're right.
But you're right. Nah, man, great conversation. I guess we can...
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. And, if you bring any other interesting nuggets in the next couple months, I'll probably see you on your channel for the top 50 2018 movies.
And I know we got to talk about Gotti at some point.
Yeah, you. Oh, yes. Before we go...
I want you to watch it first, though.
All right.
So we can really talk about it together.
He watched this really bad mafia movie, and I have to watch it.
A 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is what was so intriguing, because it's John Travolta in a mob movie. And God, it was awful. I can't wait for you to watch it.
All right, I have to watch this apparently. Because I always, give mafia movies at least like a C?
A C minus is the minimum. We've always joked about that. We'll see how serious it is.
Okay, because there are some really crappy mafia
I thought that
movies.
Public Enemies with Johnny Depp was horrible, too.
It was boring.
Do you remember that? So boring.
I don't think I made it through it.
Yeah, it was really bad. I think I gave it a D.
John
it was
Dillinger?
terrible.
Right?
Yeah, the Dillinger movie.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. But we'll see. We'll talk about that one probably. And in the meantime, everybody, I'm going to tell Dan to say bye.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, everyone. Stay magical. Thanks for listening.